That's right, everyone, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming with my thoughts and opinions, finally, about the Nintendo Labo system, or Nintendo Labo series, or, Jesus, I don't even know what to call it at this point. So everyone's probably already wondering, like, Q, you're late to the party with this, what's going on? Yeah, I'm purposely late with this video. I wanted to wait about a week to actually get a full-on informed decision and informed video about this. For the simple reason is when this kind of stuff is announced, they usually announce a bunch of stuff in the trailers and all, and then over the course of the next few days, some review outlets, some media outlets, and some people get to interview and ask questions, and then we usually find out a little bit more than what was actually originally shown in the announcement presentation. So I wanted to wait for those questions to be asked, those questions to be answered, etc., before making a video on the subject. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole details and the whole nitty-gritty of what the Nintendo Labo is, for the simple reason is chances are you already know what it is. It's basically a new line of accessories which is just cardboard that Nintendo are using for a new game series and a new game style marketed specifically at kids. Now, I don't have a problem with Nintendo making a new series or a new line of accessories or whatever and marketing certain things and certain games specifically to kids. I have no problem with that whatsoever. What I'm very skeptical about, maybe, is some of the grown-ass men and fraudulent doctors that want to actually get hyped for this and say this is the second coming of Jesus. As well as another big issue that's coming out with this whole Nintendo Labo thing. And that is the fact that Nintendo is selling you cardboard. That's right, Nintendo is selling you cardboard. And this cardboard doesn't come cheap. Here in Europe, the 2 packs are 80 and 90 euro. Because let's not forget that Nintendo was found guilty of illegal price-fixing business practices way back in the day, and Nintendo are now no longer allowed to officially set recommended prices in Europe, which means everything here is usually a little bit more expensive. But hey, punish the consumers for Nintendo's illegal actions, right? Makes sense. So when it comes down to it, the very basic gist of all this, I've mentioned it briefly at the start of the video, is that these cardboard kits, or Toy-Cons as Nintendo are calling them, essentially put together in a way that you can sit your Joy-Cons or your Switch into, and a related minigame will be something similar to what the actual, whatever it is, system you've built up. There's stuff like a piano, there's a fishing lure, there's a robot, there's an RC car, etc. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I want to look at the pros and cons, the positives and negatives of this whole thing. So one, like I said, it's designed and marketed specifically to kids. Before it was announced, Nintendo said their upcoming presentation was a new way for kids to play. And I mean, I get it. As a kid, yeah, there was always times when you did play a little bit with cardboard. You'd get like the empty inner roll of, I don't know, like Christmas wrapping paper or tinfoil or something like that, and you'd make swords and all this crap with them. I get it. I did it. We all did it. You get a big cardboard box, you could look at it and someone might see a race car, someone might see a robot body. Whatever it is, I get it. And I understand why they're trying to do this. One of the reasons that the Wii was so popular was that they marketed a lot of the stuff towards kids and they captured the children market. And Nintendo have even specifically come out and say one of the main reasons why the Wii U failed was that they didn't successfully capture the children market. But my big issue is the fact that they are literally selling you cardboard accessories for 20, 30, and maybe even 40 or 50 euro. Because this is just going to be a game card of small mini games, which usually wouldn't be full price anyway. And let's face it, cardboard is not the most robust material in the world. And something that's just really strange and weird about this whole situation is the grown men Nintendo fanboys. There are people out there on the internet, on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever, who are either my age or older than me and are completely hyping this thing up. Not for kids and not for what it can offer kids or Nintendo are doing as a company, but they're literally hyping it up as the next best thing, the next big thing, even for themselves and people of their age. Now, I don't know about you guys, but all I know is if I saw a fraudulent doctor playing with cardboard, his medical license should be revoked, and he should have a seat. And hell, to give you an even more in-depth perspective about that, there's an upcoming kind of traveling roadshow to experience Nintendo Labo in the UK very soon. Remember, Labo is designed and aimed specifically at kids, and there are men, grown ass men, complaining on the internet, bitching at Nintendo, that to attend one of these Labo roadshows, you have to have a child with you. Remember, This is a kid's toy. This is a game designed for kids to play. It's not for 40-year-old versions to slap a cardboard sword and shield on their arm and a cardboard backpack and pretend to be a robot version of Link. But anyway, that's a little bit beside the point. That's just a kind of small pet peeve of mine and how I like to laugh at hardcore Nintendo fanboys. So let's get back to the actual video in question here. My biggest issue with this is that Nintendo are literally selling you cardboard. That's it. They're literally selling you cardboard. And I think that is the biggest con of this situation. We've looked at some of the pros, we've looked at the cons. This is the biggest con of the situation. Now here's something I don't know if I ever convey across properly whenever I make videos in a negative light about Nintendo. Because strangely enough, people still call me a Nintendo hater, despite me having 2 NES, 2 SNES, 2 N64s, a GameCube, a Wii, even the fucking Wii U, a Switch, 2 Game Boys, a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy Advance SP, a Nintendo DS, a DS Lite, and 7 members of the Nintendo 3DS family. But according to that, I'm still a Nintendo hater. But not only that, is the Super Nintendo the greatest console ever made and my favorite console ever made. And I grew up with Nintendo, loving Nintendo. The Nintendo I know and love and grew up with is what I want to see return. Oh, I've also got a NES Mini, a SNES Mini, a Famicom, and a Famicom Disk System. I almost completely forgot about all of those. So you can see my love for Nintendo. But like I said, the Nintendo I know and love is a very different Nintendo we have for the last 10 years. The Nintendo we have nowadays is mostly, sadly, gimmicks and no third-party support, or lackluster and very limited third-party support. It's also less powerful and doesn't get a bunch of games. Because the Nintendo I know and love was when Nintendo did things right. Nintendo was the big kid on the block. Nintendo had the powerhouse. You didn't just buy Nintendo to play their first-party games, or a very small selection of obscure, low-quality, no-name titles like the Switch has from third parties. Now I know someone's going to say, oh, but Bethesda, Doom, Skyrim, yeah, name me 5 other high-profile third-party games on the Switch. Exactly. The Nintendo I know and love was your one-stop shop. As a comparison to the modern console day era, the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo I grew up and loved, and the Nintendo I know, were the equivalent of the PS4. You got your wide range of third-party support. You got more exclusive games than any other platform. Nintendo was top dog in every aspect, something that they are easily no longer anymore. The Switch is doing unbelievably well, setting all sorts of sales records. I don't deny that whatsoever. And I don't deny that the first-party games are amazing, for the most part. I still think Splatoon and ARMS are terrible. But hey, I realize that not every game is designed towards me, even though it should be. And that's where I draw the line. I look back and say, cardboard? Really? And just to me, that is the biggest con of the situation. And you can call it as innovative as you want. You can call it as creative as you want. I guarantee you can probably get something better for your kid for 80 or 90 euro that they will have more fun with and probably have a lower chance of actually breaking it within a week. And that assumes you already have a Switch. If you don't, boom, there's over 400 euro because Switches are 330 euro here in Europe. I don't know. I just think of the Nintendo that launched the Super Nintendo, had games like Link to the Past, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Starwing, F-Zero, Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Sunset Riders, Turtles in Time, Final Fantasy VI, Earthbound, Super Castlevania 4, Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3, Final Fantasy 4, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, Street Fighter 2, Killer Instinct, Doom, Wolfenstein 3D, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Punch-Out. You see my point, the list goes on. But now we have Nintendo selling mini games and cardboard for 80 and 90 euro. That's my opinion right there. Anyway guys, let me know your opinion about the whole Nintendo Labo situation, or as well as your feelings on how I view it. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, and let me know why as well. Let me know all that good stuff in the comment section below, as well as if you're going to be buying Nintendo Labo, as well as if it's for you or for one of your kids. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.